want to calculate the greatest common divisor and least common multiple of a pair of numbers a bit bigger from the previous exercise. 150 and 225. The pattern is the same. We are going to factorize with prime numbers these two numbers and see how we can construct the greatest common divisor and the least common multiple. So I suggest starting with drawing a vertical line. And we're going to write here on the left the number we want to factorize. Same thing here. And let's start with 150. We see that the number is even, therefore we can divide by 2. Let's start with that. 150 divided by 2 is 75. 75 is not an even number. We cannot divide by 2. Let's see if we can divide by 3. We see that the sum of the digits, 7 plus 5, is 12, which is a multiple of 3. Therefore, we can divide by 3. Let's do that. 75 divided by 3 is 25. We write the result here. 25, we know from the multiplication table, it's 5 times 5, so it's a multiple of 5. We can notice that also because the last digit is 5, therefore it can be divided by 5. And let's do that. 25 divided by 5 is 5. Prime number can only be divided by itself or 1. We divide it by itself. The result is, of course, 1. Okay, great. We can now write 150 as a product of prime numbers. All the numbers here on the right hand side of the line. 2 times 3 times 5 times 5. Already mentioned how we want to write it in a nicer way with help of the power rules. And we see that 5 shows up 2 times in this multiplication, so we're going to be able to write as 5 to the power of 2. Great. Let's now factorize 225. Let's see that the number is not even, the last digit is 5. Let's see if it can be divided by 3. Let's do the sum of the digits. 2 plus 2 is 4. Plus 5 is 9. So okay, we have confirmed it is a multiple of 3. We can divide it by 3. Let's do that. 225 divided by 3 is 75. And we already decomposed this number in prime factors, but we can repeat the same reasoning. Sum of the digits is 12, a multiple of 3, therefore we can divide it by 3. 75 divided by 3 is 25. Oh, you're already familiar with these operations. We're just going to go through them pretty quickly. Okay, we can now write the factorization of 225. We have to multiply all the numbers here on the right hand side of the line. 3 times 3 times 5 times 5. And we use again the power rules to write it in a nicer way. Alright, we're done. We have factorized the two numbers. Now we have only the formality of calculate the greatest common divisor. Remember, we have to take the common numbers, the common factors, with the lowest exponent. We start with 2. We see that 2 is not present in the factorization of 225. Therefore, we have to exclude it for our greatest common divisor. Let's now see that we have 3 here and 3 to the power 2 here. So we are able to take 2. We can take 3, for our greatest common divisor, but we have to take it with the lowest exponent. And we repeat that 3 has an invisible exponent, which is 1. So between 3 to the power of 2 and 3 to the power of 1, we have to take the lowest exponent. I'm going to take this one. Perfect. We have 5 to the power of 2 for both, which means we can only take it one time. Doesn't matter from which factorization you want to consider that. I'm going to take it from this one, just to spice things up a little. Okay, we can only multiply these two numbers to calculate the greatest common divisor. And let's do that. So the greatest common divisor between 150 and 225 is equal to 3 times 5 to the power of 2, which means 3 times 25, which is 75. The greatest common divisor between these two numbers. Okay, now we have to calculate the lowest common multiple. We take advantage again of the factorization we've done here. So we write 150, we have established it can be written as 2 times 3 times 5 to the power of 2. And we have 225, which is equal to 3 to the power of 2 times 5 to the power of 2. For the lowest common multiple, we have to take common and non-common factors with the highest exponent. So let's start with 2. It's a non-common factor, for it does not appear in the factorization of 225, but we're going to take it anyway, because we are calculating lowest common multiple now. We have 3 to the power of 2 and 3, so it's a common factor. It means we can only take it one time, and we're going to pick the one with the highest exponent. In this case, 3 to the power of 2. 5 to the power of 2 is a common factor. They both have it. They both have the same exponent. Therefore, it doesn't matter from which factorization we're going to take it from. You can choose any. I'll take it from here. And we have selected the ingredients to calculate the lowest common multiple. So let's do that. Lowest common multiple for 150 and 225 is equal to 2 times 3 to the power of 2 times 5 to the power of 2. And we can write this as 2 times 3 to the power of 2 is 9 times 5 to the power of 2 is 25. And this is equal to 450. 2 times 25 is 50, times 9 is 450. You can use a calculator if you don't trust me. But this is the lowest common multiple that these two numbers have in common. Perfect. The exercise is concluded.